Mayor, I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council to order for December 4th, 2014 at 8 p.m. On roll call, Council members Coletti.
Here.
Dombrowski. Here. Martino. Here. Petagano. Here. Lonsino. Here. Caravagna.
Here.
Mayor Mullet.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Will everyone please rise for our prayer and flag salute? Oh God, our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting, which we entrust to your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and plant therein a keen sense of justice and a greater love for you and our neighbor. Guide us in our deliberations so our decisions will always please you and bring peace and happiness to our community. Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Whereas Chapter 231 of Public Law of the State of New Jersey requires the commencement of every meeting a statement by the presiding officer, now therefore be advised that meeting requirements for this meeting have been met by posting an annual notice and record of Hackensack, the Herald News of Woodland Park, and by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk, as well as in a public place within the municipal building, and by notifying interested citizens. Said notice was posted on January 1, 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our meeting scheduled for today, this evening, and we have Bombers Pee Wee Super Bowl champions here, and I'll just let Mr. Kazmark go over the minutes, and then I want to talk to all you young fellas for a minute, okay?
Mayor, this evening under the approval of minutes, we have the October 9th, 2014 work session, October 16th, 2014 regular meeting, October 23rd, 2014 work session, November 6th, 2014 regular meeting, November 13th, 2014 executive session, and November 17th, 2014 public meeting.
Motion, please, to accept. So moved. Mr. Voncino, Mr. Petagano, any discussion? All in favor, opposed, so ordered. I mentioned before we have the members of the Bomber team. They won the Meadowlands Football League Super Bowl champions of 2014. So congratulations, young fellas. Now you can all see the gentleman standing there with the earphones, the phones on his ears, see, okay? He's taking the video and it's going to be on television. So all the moms and dads that are there, if they can listen carefully, and then maybe tape it, it'll be on Cablevision, channel 77, Tuesday at 12 noon, Thursday at 4 p.m., and Friday at 10 a.m. I'll repeat those. Channel 77, Tuesday 12 noon, Thursday 4 p.m., and Friday 10 a.m. So we're going to give you a certificate. This is going to be the certificate we're going to give you. Your coach is going to give you, call your name out. You come up, you take the certificate, you can look at the camera. I'm sure some people will be taking some pictures of you. And then you're going to walk around here and shake hands with all the councilmen because they're behind you 100%. Okay? Think we have that? Okay. Let's do that now. All right? And before we start giving these out, Mr. Chairman, will you please introduce all the coaches, because without them fellas, you wouldn't be here.
Yes, it's true. I'm going to start off with, start on my left, my assistant head coach, Billy Mulligan. George Kale. Bobby Cohen. Joe Leto. Rich Riato. Dave DePandas Giuseppe. And Anthony Morales. I got a little something before we start. Our president, Steve Zaccone, couldn't make it. He had a family emergency, but he wanted me to say a little something from. He actually sent me a nice little text. First, he apologized for not being here this evening. He has a personal family matter he has to attend to. I would like to thank the mayor and council for their support, allowing the Bombers to use their recreation buses for all of our away games. For those of you that do not know, the Bombers paid for the use of the buses each away game for the 2 playoff games and the Super Bowl and all the the regular away games. The reason why is the excitement of the kids, the faces. Every time they got on a bus was worth every penny. They sang songs, they chanted the entire way to the game. It was some of us had to take aspirin after that. We would like to thank the Councilman Dabrowski and Martino for donating funds for the buses for the second away game. We would like to also thank Councilman Coletti, Martino for attending practices, and all of our away games for helping out on the sidelines with the crews, putting on winter ponchos, keeping the kids warm, and trying that Have the Kites game, which was really cold. You guys were there. I want to thank also Councilman Pettigano for taking the time to research and writing the history of the Bombers and putting in our Adjourn ad book that we give out every home game. What he wanted is, to show what the organization was about, and when we got started in 1959, so people knew where we came from. And he did a great research on that. He wanted to thank you on that. And he would like to congratulate the Pee Wee Bombers for the Super Bowl win, the coaching staff that taught these children the great game of football. And at last time, the Super Bowl champions were 2002, as most of you know. And he was really upset that he couldn't be here, but he had, like you said, a family emergency. But he would like to thank all you guys, and I would like to thank all of you. Thank you very much so much. All right, with that being said, I'd like to bring up your 2004 Super Bowl champs. First, I'd like to bring up Michael Lombardo. Michael Coletti. Anthony Chesky. Aiden Figueroa. Emmanuel Dunkwa. Ethan Huber. Noah Chesky. Kyle Shama. Gil Isabella. Mateo Leto. Justin Maria. Mason Santiago. Alex Williams. Jason Smith.
Congratulations. Congratulations. I like that smile.
Dominic Solicito. AJ Carabello.
Nice job.
Alec Pickenich.
Congratulations.
Billy Mulligan.
Congratulations.
Bobby Coletti. Anthony DeGrande.
You're missing something.
Dylan Spinoza. Enzo Verga. Tyler Delgado. Lucas Simonak. Elijah Scott.
Congratulations.
Christopher Fernandez.
Congratulations.
Jeremiah Brown. Richie Riado. Yvonne Shiver.
I like that smile.
Jesse Schwartz. Richie, how do you say that? Ingararo. Ricky. Xavier Sombrero. Brad Sanabria. Jaden Morello. David.
Good job.
Corzani, that's it. And Mason Reaper, who moved, and he's not here, but he moved, yes, he did. He's in here, he's here with us, but he moved to Pennsylvania. That is your Elmwood Park Bombers 2014 Super Bowl champs.
Second row, just bend over, looking forward.
Coaches, come up on top.
Last row, just keep your head between them. You can't see the camera, the camera can't see you. Okay? There you go.
Go up top.
Kneel down in the back.
Bob, you should go down. Mr. Green. Thank you. First side with first.
I didn't know what was going on. There were those cars out there. What could this be?
Mayor, what's the players to see tickets? Thank you again, gentlemen. Thank you.
If you can just stay here for a minute to count. Hold on just 1 minute, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, please hold your seats.
If you just stay for another minute, we're not going to keep you. But I know that the councilman wanted to say a few things that have been started at one end. Mr. Catamaran, you want to say anything?
Yeah, I'd like to say, first of all, I'm very excited to see so many young kids here. Beautiful kids. Keep on going. Congratulations. And do the same next year. Come back and see us. Congratulations.
Thank you. Mr. Dombrowski.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate each and every one of you. As you walked up here, we shook your hand, and I want you all to remember how that feels, because you know what? When you graduate high school and you sign with a college to play football, you're going to have that same feeling. I'd just like to say something to the coaches out there. You know, I've known George and Billy for a very, very long time. I've known Rich and the other coaches. I have to tell you that kids, they've been here a very long time. My kids, my son, my daughter was a quarterback for the Bombers. I believe we went to the playoffs with that group. And I have to tell you, year in, year out, those gentlemen standing against that wall right there do everything for the organization, for you as children, to help you grow, and they've taught you very, very well. They've taught you well enough to win the Super Bowl. I congratulate you, gentlemen. I also congratulate you, coaches. Thank you very much for all that you do for this town.
It was a great privilege, guys, to meet each and every one of you. And again, congratulations on a terrific accomplishment, your coaches, but most of all, yourselves for the hard work you put in all season to achieve this milestone. But it's kind of early in your football career, so you have a lot of football ahead of you. So keep listening to your coaches, and most of all, listen to your parents. Make sure your homework's done before you go to practice, because at the end of the day, you want to go to college on an athletic scholarship, on an academic scholarship, and play football. That's the gravy, right? That's how you're going to get there. So keep working hard in school, and the football success will come automatically. Congratulations.
It's a great night for the football Bombers. Their administrators, their coaches, the parents all here this evening, and above all, the children. And why not should we celebrate this evening? Right from day one, we're teaching our children to be the best that they can be, and this group has achieved that goal. The Pee-wees in winning the Super Bowl this year have achieved an honor that doesn't come every day. And I think, Georgie, you had mentioned the last was 2002. And I think this is one of the head coaches that has the most Super Bowls amongst all existing coaches today. So that goes to show you how far and few between it is. And where does it all start? It starts right with you parents. An organization with a strong administration and a coaching staff bent on teamwork wins. The last ingredient is having a head coach whose family's name has been synonymous with the football Bombers and the cheerleaders' success in this town for decades, and that's Georgie Shama. You mix all these ingredients together, and what do we end up with? We end up with the Pee-wees Football Bombers 2014 Super Bowl champions. On behalf of the mayor and council, we want to thank you for bringing this moment to us, and you've made us all proud.
Coaches, players, I want to congratulate you on a job well done. I look forward to the year 2023 when you bring home a state championship for us at the high school level. I can see we have a tremendous amount of players on this team, probably one of the larger teams we've had in quite a while. And I want to say the spirit of Elmwood Park is in you, and you are in us. And I want to thank you again very much.
I was going to write something, but I figured, you know what? I think I'm smart enough to remember it. We all forgot, I don't think anybody mentioned the people that drove the kids to the games or the parents. They started this journey at the end of July, and here we are, December 4th, and we're still here. So to them, I think you kids should applaud your parents for everything they've done. Number two, I know most of the kids on the team, but there's a few of them that I want to express some conversation, or for lack of a better word, some thoughts. The first one is, he's on crutches tonight, but a few weeks ago, he appeared at a game in a wheelchair. I never saw people that had no clue who he was, the happiness on their face to see him being wheeled onto the field because he was part of the team. And whoever came up with the number 46 on their helmets was an tribute, not to him, but to everybody on the team. And that's Matteo Leto. There's a few more kids I want to mention. Emmanuel, 2 years ago, I don't think knew what a football was. And we say that, but you know what? If you see him play now, he knows what a football is. His family's got through a tough time this year. Maybe this is a little bit better, and it'll help out. The holidays are coming, and you know, all a little laughter, a little help helps these kids once in a while. If I miss some of the kids, I'm sorry, but there's a few more. AJ, I've known about 4 years, or 5 years. I think next to my son, he might be one of the politest, nicest kids I've ever met in my life. Respectful, he's always smiling, and of course it goes back to his home life, because his parents, and not that anybody's parents does teach that way, but he is one of the most respectful, decent children I've ever met. Jason Smith, when your dad sees this video, because he's proud right now, he's going to be even prouder. And my adopted son, not legally, Jaden. We joke when he comes to my house, I tell him, Jaden, you don't live here. Because every time he comes with a backpack or whatever, and you know what? He is my son, and we always have good times. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, I have to speak last, and they've said just about everything I was going to say. But I do want to tell every young fella here that at one time, I used to coach football in the high school, and I was a high school guidance counselor. And I say this all the time: study. You can play football, you can enjoy football, you can enjoy all the sports you want, but the one thing they can never take away from you is a good education. So make sure you continue with your sports. It's great. But make sure you study in school. Make sure you get the best grades, because you're never going to know. You sprained a leg, sprained an ankle, or whatever, you're going to need your grades. And as I said, they can never take an education away from you. So continue to do that. Continue to play sports. And enjoy all of them, because it's a great thing to do. It gives you that spirit to do whatever you want to do, and it's a great guide for the future. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you, parents, for staying involved. Thank you, coaches. We're going to now take a 3-minute break from the council meeting, and then if you want to stay and watch the council meeting, you're welcome to do that. If you want to stay so you don't have to go home and go to sleep, you can do that. Or if you want to go home and watch the football game that's on, you can do it. And if there's any parent here who wants the dates that this will be on video again, call my office tomorrow and Mrs. Burke will give you that information, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a short break.
Okay, Mayor, at this time, we're going to resume the regular meeting. We have 4 ordinances this evening on first reading. Resolution R 386-14, introduce ordinance 14-26 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled an ordinance to fix the salary, wage, and compensation of the officers, employees, and servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, for calendar year 2014 be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, December 18th, 2014, at 8 p.m. or as soon thereafter as same can be heard, at which time and place all persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and he is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law. We'll need a motion on the ordinance, Mayor.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Dombrowski, second.
Second.
Mr. Martino. Call a roll, please.
On roll call, Councilmembers Coletti?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Catagano?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Catamania?
Yes.
Motion carries. Also on introduction this evening, we have Resolution 387-14, introduce ordinance 14-27 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend the code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Traffic be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, December 18th, 2014, at 8 p.m., or as soon thereafter as same can be heard, at which time and place all persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and he is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction of final hearing as required by law.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Dombrowski.
Second.
Dombrowski, and who is down here? Mr. Pedigano? Oh, Mr. Caramagna. Any comments? Call the roll, please.
Mayor, if I may, on this ordinance, I just want to take a moment to thank Chief Feligno and our traffic officer, Officer Barone, along with Scott Karts of our Public Works. These are the final adaptations to this ordinance relative to snow removal parking and the restrictions that are associated with that. They have been out in the field for the last 2 weeks cleaning up the ordinance, and I'm hopeful that this is the final version.
As we are.
Hopeful and
Hallelujah.
As we are.
On roll call, council members Coletti?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Pedigano?
Yes.
Vansino?
Yes.
Katamanya?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Very good, Mr. Clinton.
On introduction tonight, we have Resolution R 388-14, introduce ordinance 14-28 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend the code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Wreckers and Tow Trucks be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, December 18th, 2014, at 8 p.m. or soon thereafter, as same can be heard, at which time and place all persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and he is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Pedigano, second.
Second.
Mr. Vansino, any discussion? I'd just like to comment, this towing ordinance that we have, we've had this for many, many years now, which allows anybody who is in the towing business to apply, and they will get a term of towing a month. If there's 12 people, they get a month each. If there's 9, they divide it up. And I just saw in the paper, November 25th, Bergen County freeholders, taking the lesson from us over here, they are now doing what we've done. They have as many people as want to in Bergen County, as long as they meet the qualifications. We'll have 1 week at a time up to in all 5 regions of the county. So everybody is getting a chance at doing the towing, and we've done that for 40 years now. So sometimes it takes them a little longer to catch up with us, but it's a good program. Call the roll, please.
And Mayor, through you, the inconsistency in this ordinance previously was the mileage in which towers needed to have a storage facility from Elmwood Park. This solidifies that mileage as 3 miles away from the borough.
That's good, thank you.
On roll call, council members Coletti?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Pedigano?
Yes.
Vansino?
Yes.
Katamanya?
Yes.
And finally, on first reading tonight, we have Resolution R 389-14, introduce ordinance 14-29 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending ordinance 2-63.5, the code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Outside Police Contracting Service Fee Schedule, be passed and adopted on first reading. And be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, December 18th, 2014, at 8 p.m. or soon thereafter, as same can be heard, at which time and place all persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and he is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Vansino?
Second.
Mr. Dombrowski, any discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members Coletti?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Pedigano?
Yes.
Vansino?
Yes.
Katamanya?
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, this evening, under second reading, we have Resolution 390-14, introduce ordinance 14-24 on second reading. Whereas public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled a capital ordinance, the Borough of Elmwood Park in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, authorizing the undertaking of various improvements to English Avenue Park in, by, and for the borough, appropriating therefore a sum of $160,000 and providing that such sum be appropriated and shall be raised from a county grant and from the borough's reserve for the Recreation Trust Fund expenditures. And whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, November 6, 2014, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas persons interested in said ordinance were given the opportunity to be heard concerning same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled a capital ordinance, the Borough of Elmwood Park in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, authorizing the undertaking of various improvements to English Avenue Park in, by, and for the borough, appropriating therefore the sum of $160,000 and providing that such sum be so appropriated and shall be raised from a county grant and from the borough's reserve for the Recreation Trust Fund expenditures. Pass on final reading. Mayor, we
Thank
need a
you.
motion to open to the public.
Motion to open, please. Mr. Boncino, Mr. Coletti, all in favor, opposed, so ordered. Before I open the public portion, I just want to indicate to you that it's $160,000 that we're putting into this grant. We're getting $80,000 back. We're putting $80 in. It goes to the open space program in Bergen County, and they will match what we're putting in. So it's $160,000 total for the English Avenue Park, but it's only $80 for us. We just have to put the whole total in bond.
And through you,
Anyone-
Mayor, it also should be noted that we are incurring no debt through this bond ordinance.
Right, thank you. Anyone wish to speak on this? If not, I'll close the public portion. May I have a motion to pass the second reading?
So moved.
Mr. Dombrowski, second.
Second.
Mr. Martino. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, Councilmembers Coletti?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Patagano?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Catamagna?
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, this evening, under the consent agenda, we have Resolution 392-14, approval of the bill list, Resolution 393-14, confirmation of escrow payments, Resolution 394-14, confirmation of payroll, Resolution 395-14, redeem a third-party tax lien at 281 Martha Avenue, Resolution 396-14, authorize Market Street emergency sewer main repair with Colonelli Brothers Incorporated. Resolution 397-14, appoint a substitute crossing guard in the police department. Resolution 398-14, appoint part-time inspectors in the Fire Prevention Bureau. Resolution 399-14, award our solid waste bid to Cali Carting Incorporated. Resolution 400-14, appropriation transfers. Resolution 401-14, resolution to support the Passaic Valley Water Commission's request of a stay for its LT2 administrative consent order with the Department of Environmental Protection. Resolution 402-14, resolution authorizing tax exemption on a dwelling of approved disabled veteran status for 135 Echo Place. Resolution 403-14, a resolution establishing a petty cash fund for the police department. Resolution 404-14, a resolution endorsing the community development project for improvements to Franklin Street, Gall Ave, North Street, and Summit Avenue. And I just note to the council that Summit Avenue was just added today, as we have some capacity to apply for some additional CDBG money through this grant. Resolution 405-14, resolution endorsing a second service for PSE&G at 2 Beaumar Place, and Resolution 406-14, resolution approving the use of the recreation basketball court for Mary Help of Christian High School.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Dombrowski,
Second.
Mr. Martino, discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, Councilmembers Coletti?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Patagano?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Catamagna?
Mayor, excuse me for 1 second. Mr. Kazmar, can you check to see if you read 391-14? I'm not sure we voted on that one.
391.
About the boulevard?
Right, it was on the second page. Backtrack. Resolution 391-14, introduce ordinance 14-25 on second reading. Whereas public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled a bond ordinance to authorize the improvement of boulevards, sections 8 and 9, in, by, and for the Borough of Elmwood Park in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $225,000 to pay the cost thereof and to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such an appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds, And whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, November 6, 2014, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given the opportunity to be heard concerning same, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Menlo Park that an ordinance entitled a bond ordinance to authorize the improvements to Boulevard Sections 8 and 9 in, by, and for the Borough of Menlo Park in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $225,000 to pay the cost thereof, and to make a down payment to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such an appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds, pass on final reading. Mayor will need a motion to open to the public.
Motion, please.
So moved.
So moved.
Boncino and... All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered. Before we open it to the public, this is another grant, $225,000. It's from the state, and it's to pave the boulevard, certain sections of the boulevard. Anyone wish to be heard on this? If not, I'll close the public portion. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mr. Coletti and Mr. Pettigano. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, Councilmembers Coletti?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Pettigano?
Yes.
Montesino?
Yes.
Catamania?
Yes.
Motion carries. Under departmental reports, we have the Recreation minutes for September 22nd, the Recreation Department report for October, the Police Department report for October, the Municipal Court report for October, and the Budget Finance Status report for October.
Motion to receive and file.
So moved.
Mr. Dombrowski, second.
Second.
Mr. Martino, discussion? All in favor? Opposed, so ordered. Applications,
Mayor, this
Motion.
evening we have American Legion Post 147 bingo application, American Legion Post 147 instant raffle application, Gilbert Avenue Home and School Association Tricky Tray application, and Gilbert Avenue Home and School Association 50/50 raffle.
motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Boncino, second.
Second.
Mr. Dombrowski, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered.
Mayor, that concludes my portion of the agenda.
Thank you. Council reports, we'll start with Mr. Catamagna. Oh, it's not over here, Mr. Martino, he's taking the drink of water. Okay, either way.
I can start it, no problem. Mr.
Go ahead.
Martino, do you mind?
Yeah, I got mine.
I'm sorry, I was getting a drink of water, but on December 9th at 7 p.m., it will be a celebration for the newly renovated high school gymnasium. All communities and members, alumni are invited to attend. So I just saw some pictures of that. Looks beautiful. I can't wait to be there. Also, I see that we have a new head wrestling coach. His name is Todd Williams. He was the Garfield High School head coach from 2003 to 2008. And he also coached at Garfield Boys and Girls Club. He came to Menlo Park with a great coaching experience. His assistant coach is Tom Mulligan. Also, Tom Mulligan is the head coach for football in high school. And I also saw some of the police members volunteer to coach wrestling. And I wish all of them good luck. Also, at the meeting, I noticed that our district will pay for students with disabilities just about $300,000 a year for the year 2014 and 2015. So that's a lot of money goes to that. And I just want to announce a reorganization for the Board of Education will take place at the high school on January 6th at 6:30. Very exciting news was that Mr. Bliss from Lurch and Higgins, the auditor, gave an excellent report on the school budget. Overall, it was very, very good. And he found a few deficiencies, and he recommended the board to correct them. I think the Board of Education should be televised. This way people will know what's going on, because most of the money, our tax money, goes to the school. This way people have an idea where their tax money goes. So televised would be a great idea. I spoke to the president of the board, this goes back about a month ago, probably she was, and I get a card from this gentleman, and I hope they call you, and This way people are able to see what's going on. I have to congratulate Daniel Golubach. Congratulating to inform the people in Emil Park that the library didn't have high Wi-Fi. Finally, I hear that the library is going to have Wi-Fi. So congratulations, Danny. Insist. It finally succeeded. Overall, this was a good meeting. I just want to congratulate Doris Weschler for becoming again a member of the Board of Education. And also I'd like to thank Mrs. Perna Rodman for serving on the board. I know Mrs. Perna for about 50 years, since I came from Italy, when I attended Eastside High School. She was a teacher there. She was never my teacher. She taught German. And also I met her here at the Memorial High School when she was a guidance counselor. It was the beginning of my teaching career in Emil Park. Always with a smile. She did a great job on the board. She cares so much for the kids. She was an excellent person. Oh, she still is an excellent person. I want to congratulate her, and I hope she will continue to participate. I have nothing else for now, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Dombrowski?
Thank you, Mayor. On the Health Board issue, as everybody knows, we're currently in the process of interviewing a few companies to take over our health services. Councilman Monsino and Councilman Petigano and I attended a meeting yesterday for the final applicant, and I believe that the Health Board will be taking a vote on Monday. It is a public vote. It's an open to the public, so if there's anybody out there that wants to come down and listen, please do so. It'll be held here at 7 o'clock, most likely in the all-purpose room, maybe downstairs in the caucus room. If there's a large crowd, we'll go downstairs to the all-purpose room. From the Chamber of Commerce, last month they had their beefsteak. Was extremely successful. They had a hypnotist there, and I have to tell you, I know the 10 people that got hypnotized, and it was no joke. They were completely hypnotized, and it was a phenomenal show. I also like to mention that the Chamber of Commerce has collected over $48,000 that they have donated to the local, to local charities, as well as some of our local, our fire department and so on and so forth, as well as some neighboring town needy families. $48,000 in 3 years is pretty good, so I'd like to congratulate them on that. They will be holding their annual Christmas party at the Firehouse Restaurant in Garfield in Porterville, on Porterville Avenue. That'll be this Tuesday. The public is welcome. It's $25 a person. I'd also like to say that, tonight I had an opportunity to go to St. Joseph's Children's Hospital and watch our Karen Varecchia's Gotta Dancers dance for the children at the hospital, and it's very uplifting. And this is a time of the year that we all, we just went through Thanksgiving. We just spent some time with our families. I think we really need to remember that there are some children out there that don't understand what holiday is all about, because they've never had one. And I'm not saying that these children in the hospital didn't, but we have, just at this time, I'd like to ask the residents to continue to think about their neighbors. If they need some help, please offer it to them. I'd also like to mention on the 20th of December, the Elmwood Park Police Department will be accepting unwrapped gifts or unwrapped toys that they will be donating to needy children, so we could put a smile on some of their faces. And for that, I'd like to just lastly congratulate the Bombers one more time, and progress.
Thank you. Mr. Boncino?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. A couple items. First, again, I'd like to congratulate the Bombers, coaches, players, and the parents on the Super Bowl championship this year. Fantastic accomplishment. At our last work meeting, we met with Chief Foligno to talk about staffing and the organization structure of our police department. The governing body authorized him to hire 3 additional officers through intergovernmental transfers. That paperwork's moving forward, and we should be on schedule to swear in 3 new officers at our next public meeting on December 18th. So look forward to that. And then lastly, this morning was NASA's first attempt to launch the new Orion spacecraft. on its first flight, EFT-1. It was scrubbed today because they had a problem with a liquid hydrogen fill valve on the rocket, but they're going to try again tomorrow. I was watching it with great interest because my company and my team has worked on Orion for the past 6 years, and this first test is a major milestone. I bring this up because in community news a couple of weeks ago, Dr. Tomko discussed improving student academic performance, and specifically the challenges he faces with math scores in the district. As part of his strategy he'd like to employ is to engage local professionals involved in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, to connect students with these professionals, and for these professionals to demonstrate the connection or the application of the theories they're learning in the classroom. So to that end, I've provided Dr. Tomko with a link on the Orion program that he can share with his math and science teachers throughout the community. And I'm sure I'll have much more to pass along as we work to the next milestone on the Orion program, which is the Space Launch System rocket launch in 2018 in preparation for taking men into deep space in 2020. And I think it's a great initiative that Dr. Tomko has, and I encourage professionals in our community that are involved in science and technology to fully support this endeavor. But I also believe that parents need to engage their children at a young age, the importance of math and science in our daily lives. And you don't have to be a STEM professional to do that. I recall sitting in the living room with my dad back in the 60s, and my dad he wasn't a college graduate, he was a machinist. And we listened to Walter Cronkite explain the Apollo program to us. My dad probably couldn't explain anything about the physics behind what was happening on the TV, but he did convey to me how hard and complex it was and how many Americans were involved in that project. I recall back then, a Saddlebrook gas station would sell, if you filled up your tank, they would sell Apollo models and pictures, and they sold this book that I found in my attic, copyright in 1969, that I made my parents stop for gas when this book came out. And now when my wife and I are gone and my kids come back to clean the house, they're gonna need a real big dumpster to empty out our house. But in this book, in the back, it had the contractors that worked on the Apollo program. And one was the Bendix Corporation in Teterboro, New Jersey. And I said, wow, Teterboro, New Jersey did something on this program to send a man to the moon, and it was the ST-124 platform. I didn't know much about it then, but this is the ST-124 platform. And ST-124 is a derivative of the ST-1 platform that Werner von Braun designed for the V-2 rocket in Germany. So there's a lot of history behind what was developed in Teterboro, and a lot of residents from Elmwood Park worked at that plant. They were professionals and laborers that worked to develop that system. But I didn't know where Teterboro was when I was 8 years old, so I had my parents take me to an air show at Teterboro Airport just to find out where Bendix was. And then if you fast forward in high school, I went into my guidance counselor and I said, I want to be a pilot or an astronaut. And she says, well, then you want to become an engineer. And so I walked out of her office scratching my head. I didn't know what happened. And so that's where we are today. So I have my guidance counselor to thank for all this.
They're good people.
But the science and the engineering that's going on Orion is very complex. And a lot of things happen between what's going to happen on TV tomorrow, hopefully, and the next milestone, analysis and design and fabrication. And we don't appreciate that. And I think our youth today, they're used to picking up their phone, swiping and getting an answer on Wikipedia. But a lot of what went into this came out of the space program of the 1960s. So again, my message here in this long-winded thing is to the parents to get your kids focused and pointed in the right direction so the teachers could have them shoot for the stars. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
And don't forget to watch the lunch tomorrow, 7:05 a.m.
Mr. Martino?
Homeowners actually is very quiet, but what I do want to mention is I'm on the Personnel Committee, and this year, with the help of everyone on the council and Mr. Kazmark, we were able to negotiate all the contracts with good faith, and the contracts are going to go forward for years to come, and it was fair to everybody, and fair to the town, and fair to the people that got the contracts, and that was our goal, is for everybody to be happy, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Mr. Pagano?
The most important thing happening this week is the tree lighting at Borough Field by the mobile, what is that?
The synthetic ice, we haven't,
No, the
Tank, the
tank.
tank.
Okay, so right behind the tank, we're going to be lighting the tree. I hate calling it a tank now, I feel as though...
56 or something.
the Scorpion.
The Scorpion.
Still there?
There will be synthetic ice, I believe, inside, and there will be skates that can be rented for all the kids. That starts at 6:30, I'm sorry, yes, starts at 6:30. There will be cookies and hot chocolate served, and Santa will make his visit, and also we'll be selling poinsettias. Next on the agenda is the Coaches Appreciation Dinner. That will be December 17th at 6:30 in the rec gym. This is a dinner, a first annual dinner for coaches who usually are overlooked at the end of a year, sometimes, unless they win a Super Bowl championship. But they will be appreciated this year for all their efforts. Winter break camp will be held from December 24th to January 2nd. The rec will be closed December 25th and 26th and January 1st, but for winter camp, registration is now open. Winter indoor soccer clinic, registration is now closed. We have 69 players. Street hockey registration is also still open. Basketball is now closed registration, and we have 174 excluding our traveling team. And the season has ended for soccer, and I want to congratulate that program. And that's all I have for this evening, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Coletti?
I guess I want to start with a question on Mr. Voncino's report. This Orion rocket spaceship, how does it differ from previous spaceships?
It's bigger.
It's bigger. It's going to consist of 4 astronauts, and eventually it's going to be powerful enough to get to Mars.
And you're going to be the first one to go to Mars.
I'm going to keep my feet on the ground here. Snow season is upon us. I see a lot of smiles out there.
Oh, we get the sign.
Time to get out the snow blowers, the shovels. Aren't we all looking forward to that? As a reminder, for your safety, your family's safety, and your neighbor's safety, if a fire hydrant borders your property, you are responsible to maintain its access. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We have an ordinance, I have it right here, that says you must. And for those of you who think that this is an unfair and you shouldn't be saddled with this daunting task, there is a silver lining. Insurance companies offer premium discounts based on your proximity to fire hydrants. Check with your agent. And to the news reporter here tonight, we'd really appreciate you bringing this message to our residents via your paper. I have the ordinance. Yes, you. We would appreciate that, Catherine. The fire department is seeking new volunteers. If you so desire to join, you can contact the fire department at 201-796-3939, or contact me, and I will forward your information to our chief. And my phone number is 201-797-4221. Mayor?
Thank you. We have 5 minutes before he has to change the tape. Let me just indicate to you that we have executed a grant agreement for the de-snagging of Fleischer Brook. They'll probably be starting in the spring for that. And that was about $191,000 that we got. It's a grant to de-snag the brook and dredging parts of the brook if it's necessary. Something I'm a little unhappy about, I understand that Public Service just came in and they are doing some digging and removing certain pipes and things of that nature on Willow Street. And they didn't give the people there much information before they did that. And just so that everyone here and maybe watching, they're going to be doing the same thing on Washington Avenue, and that street was supposed to be paved this year. It's fortunate we found out that they're doing it, otherwise we would have paved the street and they would have dug it up within a couple months. We do have an ordinance that no one can dig into a new paved street for 3 years, but Public Service is something different. Emergencies, they have to go and do this, and we have gone from River Road to Spidell Avenue and paved that, and then they would have come in and dug a trench through it, and but that's going to be done. So people who live on Washington Avenue, if you're wondering why your street wasn't done yet, this is the reason, but it'll be done next year. Other than that, I'm going to take a 2-minute recess, and he's going to change the tape, then we'll have public portion. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to resume the meeting. If there's anyone in the audience who has any comments, please give us your name and address. Come to the lectern, speak into the microphone so we can have that recorded.
Jeffrey Freitag, 35 Hillman Drive at Elmwood Park. As I recall, last year there was talk of, in some way, delineating where the fire hydrants were going, are, a flag, something like that. Is that going to take place? Although a resident may clear around, I have a fire hydrant in front of my house and I always clean around it, but if the fire truck comes down the street and the snow's high, they might not see it unless they know where all of them are. I thought there was some sort of plan last year where they were going to put markers on all the fire hydrants. Some have them already and have had them for years. Other, I know in front of my house it doesn't have one.
Yeah, you had mentioned that last year, Jeff. We have...
Well, actually, it came from up here, and then I thought that something was going to be done.
It was. We had to order more, and we're ordering them as we speak to make sure we were short because of the breakage from the previous year. So we are ordering more, and I'll make sure that you get one put on yours.
I hope it's never needed. I'm just saying that I thought that was going to be something. And the other thing, I'd like to thank Mr. Boncino for mentioning of the homework. I think it's a very important issue that should be addressed, and everything is nice, but homework is most important. And other than that, I also appreciate the fact that you forwarded that to Dr. Tomko regarding the STEM program, and it is something throughout the entire country that all students should pursue, and having a personal interest like you do, I think can sort of put it in the forefront. And you know, it's a success that people can look at for the rest of their lives, as your father did, I'm sure. And you know, it's something that people can really look forward to as the country progresses, and it's something that the entire world. I think, as I heard, Orion is going to go much farther than the current space station has gone. Obviously, if it's going to go to Mars, it's going to go farther.
Yeah, tomorrow it's going to exceed the space station orbit tomorrow, the second orbit, before they bring it back. Yeah. And then when they launch it next time, it's going to go around the moon. And then they're going to try and land on an asteroid or Mars, the next one after that.
Thank you.
Anyone else who wishes to be heard?
Hello. Peter Scalaro, 12 Craig Court. I wrote down a couple things here. I've been coming to meetings for the Rec and Council for over the past 2 years. I've observed and kept silent through the years. I have heard our officials have kept children off soccer fields in this town. You are not the ones keeping the children off the fields. It's been a handful of people misleading families in this town. The other organization's board made a decision back in 2011 to affiliate themselves somewhere else. and left the rec high and dry. I know I was on that board at the time. I didn't agree with it then, and I don't agree with it now. The rec has had meetings and has asked the other organization to join us, but they've declined. We told them we would definitely keep their parents and their coaches, but that wasn't good enough. Just for your information, Saddlebrook, Fairlawn, Hasbrook Heights, rec and club are all one. In those towns, if you play travel, you have to play rec. But with another organization in town, the rec can't do that. I have heard at some of these meetings that our club, EP Wrecking Crew, is a rec soccer club. That is insulting to my coaches, my board, and especially our children. What makes the other club superior than the EP Wrecking Crew Soccer Club? We have F-licensed coaches that take a 9-hour course. The other club does it online. We have pro trainers for all of our teams. Nobody's excluded. We run a tournament with over 30 teams from other communities that participate in the league that the other club plays in, and we compete against them. We play in a great league. By the way, the league, keeping it, not keeping it, we're happy where we are now, okay? I don't know why the other organization doesn't want to join us. It can't be Donna, because a lot of their children play hockey or basketball under the rec department. It can't be our trainers, because some of their U11 boys and U10 girls train with our trainer during the winter. It can't be me. I'm no longer the president. So what is the reason? Is it pride by not joining the rec? It's only hurting the children. It's not hurting the adults. What I like about the rec is we keep our costs down. We keep a record of all the monies. If a parent wants to know where their monies are being spent, they can. It's public record, as the other club has over at our club. Our soccer club board answers to the rec director and then answers to you. We are not a soccer club that is left in the hands of 1 or 2 people. Now, by giving the fields to another organization, it sends a bad message. It tells me that if you don't agree with the rec, you can start your own league, and then it will hurt the rec programs all around. Remember this, the EP Wrecking Crew will always take the high road. We will not bring our children on a school night here late. We will not put them in front of you as pawns, and I apologize for using those words. We will not call our elected officials liars. But most of all, we will not keep 90 to 120 children out of a league because of a personal agenda against someone, which was said here in public, I believe a couple months ago. The EP Wrecking Crew will provide a fun and competitive soccer to everyone in town. And just remember this, the rec and its programs are the feeder program to all the schools. And last but not least, I was happy and I was very sad with the Bombers tonight because our children in soccer cannot have the best of both clubs playing on one club and represent our town. Thank you, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you. If no one else wishes to speak, I'll close the public portion of the meeting.
Mayor, we have a need to go into executive session this evening, whereas the Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231, permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances. And whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, and whereas the governing body wishes to discuss personnel within the municipal clerk's office and litigation, Bonanno versus the Borough of Elmwood Park, minutes will be kept, and once the matter involving the confidentiality of the above no longer requires that confidentiality, then the minutes can be made public. Now therefore be it resolved that the public be excluded from this meeting. Mayor will need a motion to go into executive session.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Dombrowski, second.
Second.
Mr. Martino. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
So ordered. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll just repeat, is you still on? I'll just repeat those dates in case anybody wants to view this with the kids. Tuesday, council meeting Tuesday, Channel 77 at 12 noon. Thursday at 4 p.m., Friday at 10 a.m., or you can watch it on our own website. Thank you.